Yeah, Brett Angel eventually going on to win it. It was.
Yeah. So this was maybe I maybe got even closer this time. I was playing heads up. I was playing heads up cards for the title this time, not just a flip. It was in my own destiny. And then yeah, second place again.
We move on. We move on to another third, but this time one of the favourite places to play. GUKPT Blackpool, 365 entries. You finished third, as we've just said.
Yeah.
Another 40,000 in the coffers. Did this one seem more winnable?
Yeah, for sure. I remember standing up and looking around the room towards the end of day two, and I thought, yeah, really want this one. I think this is winnable. And then, yeah, I think me and Terry Jordan and somebody else bagged 1 million ish chips at the end of the day. So, like, coming back for day three, I was really, really confident. I had a good table draw start of day three as well. But what it was actually the Remembrance Day, sort of parade on the pier.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Up north. So me just like looking around at the Remembrance Day parade, and sort of getting into it, watching what was going on, all of that stuff. But then it's interesting. It's like when you're in Vegas, you look down the strip and you think, oh well, it's just down there, isn't it? So I'm looking down at the casino from towards. So I'm further up than Central Pier and North Bay. I'm in between the two. I'm looking down and thinking, well, yeah, that's just a 10-minute walk, isn't it? So it gets to about 10 to 12, and then I set off walking, and I'm just thinking to myself, whoa, I'm not really getting very close there. And I had a big case on me as well, so it was horrible. I ended up running about 2 miles with this huge case on me, and I wasn't very fit at the time either. And if you ever watch the footage on YouTube, when I walk in about 8 minutes late, I'm panting and I'm all red and I'm ripping all my hoodies off. Oh, it was not good. But then yeah, I had a good start to the day. I think that when we went onto the final table, I had a really good player on my left who also had chips, Matt Erdley, and that really hampered my chances of winning that tournament. I thought I navigated the final table pretty well, but him just having a position on me was very, very difficult because he was just able to put a lot of ICM leverage on me, and yeah, that was always going to be a tough one to win. But yeah, I was happy.
Always remember you coming into the casino. You just look like you've done a week out with Bear Grylls.
Honestly, it was bad. It's yeah, but it's my own fault. I won't do that again.
But 2019, as we've just seen, it was an amazing year. A record for GUKPT main event final tables. 6 25-25 series final tables back to back.
Yeah,
three deep stack finals, 5 GUKPT PLO caches from the 5 that you played. Rich, there's no wonder you ended up as Grosvenor 2019 Player of the Year.
No, it was from the get go. It just snowballed. It was just an incredible heater. What more can I say? I don't know. People have been asking me a lot recently about how I did go deep in so many, and it's sort of the only answer that I can give really is my game's sort of designed to play against. So I obviously my main background is playing online tournaments, so I'm sort of well equipped to deal with like the young kids and the GTO, and I know how to counter them. But it's the 10 years experience of looking the local players in the eyes in the casino and knowing what makes them tick, and it just allows you to have 3 or 4 extra lives in some spots, because there's hands where I'll just know one of the older guys I just know he's absolutely got it. And I'll be able to sort of get away from this spot where I should never get away. Whereas these young kids will just walk into the casino, they'll play a hand, and they think, oh, it's standard to get it in here. And yeah, it just allowed me to have 3 or 4 more lives in a lot of those tournaments last year. It was sort of crazy. I was getting away from some of the spots, really.
Was it true that when you played the online leg?
Yeah.
You was chip leader in every time you went through?
Not in every one, but I was doing really, really well in the online legs. It was becoming a bit of a running joke how well I was running.
It's not bad when people recognise that Rich Kelly's got chips. Yeah, he played day 1 online. That's all he's done.
Yeah, and that was great for me as well, not having to go to go around and play. I think the online day ones being introduced was a brilliant idea.
Mm. Well, we carried it on straight to 2020. You went. Was you back in Australia for the winter?
I wasn't actually back in. I usually go every winter, and I live with my friend over there, and we play for a cricket club over there, and I've got lots of friends over there at the cricket club. So I usually go over there for a few months, but this time I ended up losing my passport around November time, and it was an awful process then, because I've lost so many over the years. They were interviewing me like. And I wasn't sure if I was going to get one, but yeah, I managed to get one, and I flew over there on Boxing Day, spent some time with my friends over New Year, and then I went to, and then I was in Melbourne for the Aussie Millions. Yeah,
the side events, the $96,000 first place, 403 runners. Was that including bounties, or was that excluding?
It was $141,000 including bounties. So yeah, I think I got $139,000 as the main prize and 2,000 in bounties. Yeah, and I was heads up against like an Aussie poker legend called the Crocodile Man.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had everybody. Like I had a few friends who I obviously living in Australia every winter. I know quite a few Aussies and stuff, and they'd come over and say like, "Good luck." And I had a few English friends over, but like his support was just unbelievable in the heads up, and we played heads up for 5 or 6 hours. So he'd have like Shane Warne coming over, like, "Come on, Crocky," and Joe Hasham would come over and be like, "Come on, Crocky," but. Yeah, I managed to, he started the heads up with about 3-1 chip lead, and I managed to again grind it back and won my first. Well, I'd say probably my most significant poker win and my Aussie Millions ring. Yeah.
And then 2020 stopped, and we went in lockdown, and we grew a beard, and you know, how strange has it been for you?
The first couple of months were well, I don't know. I think that even it's like lots of my friends and things, when they were all locked in the house, they started doing Zoom calls with their friends, and they were like, "Oh, we're having a poker game." So like poker became massive, and I'd say 50% of my friends who had never played poker had started playing at this point, or playing at home with their friends and online and things. For the first 2 months, I was absolutely loving it. I was playing all the time. The games were brilliant. I was like, yeah, lockdown. And like people were getting really negative about it, but I was kind of embracing it. And yeah, the first ever GUKPT was played online, and I ended up going into the. I was chip leader on the final table of that one. Would you believe? And I ended up busting out in fourth. I ended up busting out in fourth and got £9,000. I ran a huge bluff with 6 left that I would never try again. I don't think. But, and then yeah, so for the first 2 months, I was putting in absolutely insane volume, and I was playing probably on average 12-13 hours a day. But then I was struggling to sleep because when you play so much online, 10, 12, 13 hours a day, your brain's so active, battling against the best players in the world. So your brain's so active. So when I was finishing my sessions, my brain's whizzing, and I couldn't sleep very well. I was struggling to switch off. So yeah, in the last 6 weeks or something, I've not played as much. I'm just playing a little bit of cash games here and there, and then in a week or two, the World Series of Poker Online starts. So I'm sort of just doing a bit of studying and getting ready for that, really.
Nice one. We're going to just about to finish, but we've got some quick fire questions. You can answer them as quickly as you want to, or you can elongate them if you need to.
Okay.
Live or online? What's your best?
Ooh, well, people would always think for me live, but I would say that primarily I'm an online poker player.
Best player you've played against?
Best player I've played against. I've got to say Doyle Brunson.
We've seen you've had a royal flush on our feature tables. How many rolls have you had in your career?
Right, so I would say about between 25 and 30. But I remember having, when I was playing in Australia, when I was grinding those leaderboards, I had 3 in 1 week, and it was crazy. To get 3 in 1 week's mental, because he won in 221,000 or something to get one, I think.
Money or the title?
I would always have in the past said money, but I quite liked my Australia Aussie Millions ring when it was. I don't know. Maybe it's because I won it there though. I'd say in the main money though.
And who's your nemesis at the poker table?
My nemesis at the table. Wow.
Yes.
Nemesis at the table.
They call me one. You've been so good.
I'm trying to think of my nemesis at the table. We'll say Steve Warburton, because me and him were always like sort of rivals in the Manchester area coming up. So yeah, and he used to have my number as well. He was like Simon Dedman. He used to be able to look me up and down and just know when I was bluffing and when I had it.
Favorite place to play?
It's got to be Melbourne, Australia, at the Crown Casino.
Rich, what's next?
Well, I don't know. I've started. I'm still passionate about poker, but maybe not as passionate as I was last year. Like I was really going at it hammer and tongs last year. Yeah, I do a little bit of trading and things in the day now, so I definitely want to branch out into doing different things. But yeah, I'm still passionate about poker, and will still, in the meantime, continue to travel and play all these tournaments when we're allowed to play again. But yeah, I've started doing a little bit of coaching. It wasn't something that I agreed with really ethically in the past, because I was sort of the opinion, why would you want to make your opponents any better? Like, that's not going to be good for you. But with all the free information out there on YouTube and all these coaching sites now, and even Poker News now, the strategy articles are very advanced. I felt that maybe it wouldn't be so bad to do a bit. So yeah, I've always sort of helped my friends. Like there's a lot of my friends who have helped improve a lot in poker. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a bit more of that. It sort of helps put a bit of structure in my day as well, planning my sessions and then delivering them. So, but yeah, I mean, with all the study and traveling and everything else, it's a busy enough schedule anyway.
And finally, would you do anything differently?
I'd probably employ better bankroll management, but I mean, at the time, I always think any decision that I've ever made, I thought it was the right thing to do at the time. It may not have been on further reflection, but
yeah,
no, I'm pretty happy that I'm certainly happy with how I've managed to do it in the last couple of years. In the last 2 or 3 years for sure.
Mr. Champion, Rich Kellett, thank you very much for spending an hour with the tower. Rich, thanks.
Okay. See you later.
Welcome to another hour with the tower. We are pleased to be joined this time by one of the guys who plays a circuit, and a lot of the circuit we will be talking about. Over $1 million in lifetime earnings, 8 GUKPT main event finals, and the 2019 Grosvenor Player of the Year. It is the one and only from Castaway, Mr. Tom. No, it's Richard Kellett.
Hello, Tower. Just got my lockdown beard here that everyone might not be accustomed to, but yeah, well, the pubs opened, didn't they, on Saturday, and I was sort of tempted to go out, but what I made sure that I did is I didn't go for a haircut, so then I didn't want to go out like this, so I managed to fade it for another week.
I tell you what, if Simon Zach watches this, you could be brothers.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, do look a bit like Zach. Yeah,
you know what? Absolutely. Hey, we're going to run through what Rich Kellett has done for over the last decade. It's been pretty eventful. And one of the first things we can talk about is that we saw recently you posted on social media about you're in a chess club at school. Now, you're talking to a guy that used to play for Rotherham, by the way, at chess.
Oh, wow.
So now that is a long time ago at school, by the way. Was chess a good base for poker? Is that with the deep thinking?
Absolutely. So in my primary school, in my local village, our head teacher, she was called Mrs. Baxter. She was very, very she was really, really passionate about chess, and it sort of exuded through the whole of the sort of year 6 age groups down to year 3. We were playing, and we had a really avid club. And yeah, it just went from there. Really, me and my younger sister, we ended up being 2 of the better players, and we ended up representing Lancashire,
Nice.
and we'd even go down to England matches at the Albert Hall, where they play the darts. Now we used to play in the Royal Albert Hall, where Ali Pali, where they have the darts finals now every January. And yeah, we sort of got to the stage. I was number 4 board for the number 11, the under 11s in Lancashire, and my sister, I think, was the number 1 board for the under 9s in Lancashire. So we were pretty good, and then obviously we were coming home and we were playing each other and getting better and better. And then it got to a point when we were about 9, 10, 11 where we were too good to play the other children. So in the evenings, this was sort of like, we were at an age as well where we were going to bed at 9 o'clock on a usual night, but instead of that, we sort of we were only playing competitively with other children at weekends. So what we ended up doing was we ended up joining like local men's clubs at like 9 and 10 years old. So you can imagine these were really late nights. We're in these local games. We're going to places like I was from Chorley, so going to places like Leyland, Blackburn, and Burnley, and all over the place, travelling around the northwest. And we were sat in there till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and we were playing against fully grown men who were drinking pints and blowing smoke across the chessboard. So it was it was sort of like the ideal preparation for poker. But at 11 years old, when I went to high school from primary school, it just sort of wasn't cool to play chess anymore. Everyone, you just couldn't be that kid who was in the library every day. So yeah, I had to get back out on the football field, and I stopped playing then. yeah, so I've met some people through poker all around the world who've gone on to be really, really good chess players. But yeah,
Yeah.
I sort of completely left it alone from 11 years old.
How good could you have been, do you reckon?
I don't know. I definitely felt like I, de- I definitely felt like I had some ceiling, because there's a guy in the local village, a local village to me, who used to really give me a good pasting, and that always brought me back down to earth, sort of thing. So I don't know. But it's leading into the poker thing from chess. The skill set is so similar, because in chess you're thinking 3, 4, 5, 6 moves ahead, and it's exactly the same in poker with your pre-flop, your flop, your turn and river. It's the thought pattern is almost exactly the same, thinking moves ahead. So yeah, the skills are massively transferable. But I mean, I'd love to sort of play now, but you can't really win money, and the games are very time consuming. So it's yeah, I would love to play, but I don't know. Maybe in later life I'll get back into it. I think when I've got a bit more time and there's not so much poker going on all over the place.
Absolutely. Where did you start first playing poker, and how did you learn, or was it just like?
So this was 2005, 2006. I was just in year 11 at high school, and my friend is my best friend, who lived 2 doors down from me, and was really close with my family. He'd just gone to a local sixth form college, and this was obviously a year or two after the moneymaker thing, and you got Greg Raymer and all that. So it was basically the exact point at when professionals started winning the World Series main event every year, to when amateurs started winning every year. So they were. I was in year 11 at high school. They were going to, well, as loosely say, they were going to college. They were just going, sitting in the canteen and playing every day, and then they'd spill home at night, and they'd just all be playing around my friend's house. So like, I sort of got introduced to it at 15 years old. Yeah, I've just got thrust straight into it with the older lads, really.
Well, we got in at 15, so you could have been the Kelster 15, but
Yeah.
2008, before you started playing live, you got a massive result online. You come 5th in the full tilt 750,000 guarantee for 33,000. That was July 2008. What
Yes.
did it feel like winning that much money at that time?
Wow, yeah, because I've just turned 18, and like, it was pretty crazy, because I did have a little foray into online poker before I was 18, but this was yeah, this account was my own account and everything, and yeah, I hadn't really even I'd played tournaments, and I knew that I had sort of like a winning style in them at this point, but this night was crazy. I'd hardly even played any $215 buying tournaments before, and I bought into this one, and it was mad. I ended up getting a big stack, and it was the first time that I'd ever actually stayed up all night, sort of playing poker. So you had a break every 5 minutes past the hour. Well, actually, it wasn't even a synchronized break. This was pre-synchronized break, so it would have been whenever the tournament started, an hour I would play, then a 5-minute break. So yeah, this one, I just remember going to the wash basin every hour to splash some water on my face, and I wasn't tired, but I wasn't tired because I was pumped full of adrenaline. But yeah, just my little routine. I'd been probably the longest I'd ever played a tournament up until that point, or been in a tournament, was maybe 4 or 5 hours play, and this one was. We're now 13 hours into this one, and I'm just going to the toilet, flicking some water on my face. Yeah, and it was really exciting. And I was thinking I was chip leader 2 tables left, and it was like $180,000 for the winner, I think. And that's just madness, because I think I started the day with $400 in my poker account or something. So yeah, that was definitely what got me a massive taste for online tournaments, for sure.
Did that go straight to a bankroll, or and let you play bigger tournaments?
Sort of, but then I was very, yeah, I was very, very naive in my early days. So I just used to, I just thought I was the best player ever then. And then I would often go and play like high stakes cash games and things, and like experimented in that way. I managed to withdraw a chunk of it, but yeah, like I was very, I sort of loved just to jump in at the deep end, and yeah, definitely had a different career path to most when it comes to that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, after you'd had that nice score, you started to venture into the live poker. Your first Hendon mob was back in 2008. Can you remember what it was?
So when I just turned 18, I used to go in the closest casino to where I lived in Chorley at the time, which was Bolton Casino, and that was actually back in the day. That used to have some amazing cash games. They'd have like a 2-2 game every evening at the Grosvenor. That was actually where the first ever GUKPT was, wasn't it, Bolton?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the first ever one.
Yeah, and like the games in there used to be crazy. Like I couldn't even dream for games in there these days. But yeah, I used to have a little go into there. Me and my friend would go down, and we saw it advertised on the internet as like a £3 rebuy tournament. Anyway, so we went down. Just thinking, okay, well, we're going to go and play this tournament. It seems quite cheap. It's only £3. Anyway, we realised about 5 minutes into the tournament that £3 actually gets you one set of chips, and that lasts about 5 minutes because everybody's just going all in, every hand, rebuy. So yeah, we opted for the freeze out tournaments then, and I was having a little bit of success online at the time. So like, I actually was playing a lot bigger online when I was 18 than I was in the live ones. And I did a little bit of research, and I found out there was a place, Casino 36 in Stockport, which had some games. And they were they were £50 rebuy tournaments and £100 rebuy tournaments, and they had a really big cash game there. So yeah, it was weird, but I went down there, and I was trying to get in at the front door, and they were sort of saying, yeah, you've got to be 21 really for this one. Anyway, I ended up on some sort of technicality. They ended up letting me sign up at 18, so I was just forever known as the kid in there. I was like just by a mile, and I was playing every night with people like Ali Milou and everyone. So yeah, I've known those guys really, really well for over 10 years now, and that's sort of my first exposure to the poker circuit.
You went to Gala at Leo, second for 1,200.
Right, yeah, I remember it. It was a Gala at the Liverpool.
That's right, yeah.
It was like a Sunday evening, the last tournament of the Gala Poker Tour. Yeah,
that's right.
I remember it
well. February 2009, you had another big score on Full Tilt. You must have liked Full Tilt at the time. The Sunday Brawl.
It was by far.
Third for 40,000.
Yeah, the Sunday Brawl, I think that one was.
That's right.
Yeah, it was by far the best, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people would probably say the same. It's by far the best poker site ever. Just in terms, like, people just used to go on to rail the cash games. Like, you didn't need, a lot of people were just on there not even playing. You had all Phil Ivey and Tom Dwan sat, and Gus Hansen and Patrick Antonius sat with all the big money in the cash games, and it was just yeah, for me, like, it was the greatest poker site ever, and I just really liked playing that on there. Yeah.
Yeah, you scored for 40,000, but the following month you played an EPT. Is that what you bankrolled yourself into the EPT with?
No, the EPT was a funny one actually. I was playing on PokerStars, so this the following month, yeah. So as soon as I got the 40,000 score, I withdrew a little bit from Full Tilt and put a bit on PokerStars, and I ended up qualifying through the step system. So I bought into the $82 step. and this was a sit and go, so the top 2 got you into the next round. And yeah, I bought into the $82 step and got into the 215 and the 630 and the 2100. And anyway, I'm then in the 2100 playing for an EPT Dortmund package, and I get heads up with the little Italian guy. Do you remember Dario Minieri?
Oh, well, yes, I do. I know the name.
Yeah, I was heads up with Dario Minieri, and I think I ended up trapping him, and he made a big bluff, and then I called it off, and yeah, I was super excited about that one. I managed to get the €5,300 buy-in, and I got the Hilton hotel free and some money for flights. So I told my friend we're off to Dortmund in Germany.
667 runners there were, and you were chip leader with 70 left.
Yeah.
Was you nervous? Was you excited?
It was a crazy experience. Day one, I just sort of was playing pretty tight and didn't wait. I couldn't really get many spots day one. I was finding it quite tough. And then in the last level, I got a big double up with 9s against 4s and bagged a moderate stack for day 2. And then day 2 was just an absolute whirlwind. I sort of, I think I had an interview with Poker Stars actually at the start of day 2. And then I've got on this table, and I'm just running absolutely berserk, but I'm sort of painting a picture that I'm this really tight kid who's just like satellite in for this really big tournament. Like every time I sort of make a crazy move, I'll show a card that perhaps makes it look like that I had a strong hand or something. And they were all buying into it, and I was just going, I was literally just putting the foot down, and then I'd even find a situation where I'd like flop a set or something in a massive pot, and I remember it was because it was so early on in my poker career, but I just, the amount of physical chips I had in front of me at one point, they had to stop the floor people had to stop it and come up and color them up. So yeah, that was crazy.
Was it true you had aces 3 times in a row?
I think I might have had them twice in a row. Instead, I had them 3 times in a row.
Tell the bloggers anything.
Yeah, I mean, I was really trying to exploit my image because I had a table that I could run over, and I wanted to sort of paint the picture that I was this young kid who'd qualified, who really wasn't really looking to put much pressure on, and then sort of do the opposite. Because when my style online at that time was just going absolutely ballistic and trying to run people over. So I felt that the best way to sort of be able to do that was to paint a picture that I was doing the opposite.
15th for 20,000. Annoyed? Happy?
So yeah, the TV cameras came in for day 3 or day 4. I think it was day 3, with 24 left. So that was really strange. I had to sort of like walk up to the camera at the start of the day and hold the card and flash it. And then there's a guy actually I know quite well now called, I think he's called Johan Storikers. He's a Swedish guy, and it was €1 million almost for first place, and there's 16 left. But I wouldn't say I was nervous. I was quite enjoying it really. And then I just found a pair of queens, and Johan found a pair of kings, and it was a bit. Maybe it was a little bit of inexperience, but like the thought of folding never crossed my mind, so it was just. No. I'm going to start the final table, but certainly gave me a thirst to play more.
Can you remember who won it?
Yeah, it was Sandra Noyox, because she actually knocked me out. So yeah, I do remember.
You'll never forget that one. But 2 weeks later, you got your first Hendon Mob win, and it's still there. The first win at the side of Rich Kelly's name. £200 side event in the GUKPT London.
Oh yeah, it was a £200 rebuy as well, I think. So it was pretty big.
Yeah, they got 26,000 for the win. The final table included James Aikenhead and the late great Dave Colclough. What were it like playing with those kind of guys?
Oh wow, yeah, like that was just amazing for me, because obviously the thing is, when I was sort of 18 and I was really enthused about poker, so I was playing every day online, and
Yeah.
I'd even go in WH Smith's and buy all the magazines, and so like to be in WH Smith reading these magazines, trying to suck up all this information, and see these people in the magazines to go into playing with them at the table the year after was just it was really sort of, yeah, it was mad.
Mm. Yeah, and after the GUKPT win in 2009 was such a good year for yourself, because in August you got the biggest online score. You're on F-tops. Event number 20, 2,438 runners. You got 96,000
Yeah,
and a jersey.
wow, yeah, that was incredible. I was my friend stayed up all night with me. The
I
guy
can
who
imagine.
my friend who lived 2 doors down from me, who taught me how to play poker, actually, he stayed up with me all night, and yeah, that one went on until about 7 a.m. And actually, in back on Full Tilt, they used to have another really cool feature. Any of their red pros, if you knock them out, you got the buy-in for the tournament back, and you got a T-shirt that said "I knocked out Full Tilt Pro." And with
Yeah.
about 3 or 4 tables left, I knocked out Alan Cunningham,
Oh
who
yeah,
was
yeah.
really, really famous American pro at the time. So I knocked him out. I got the $215 back for my tournament entry, and yeah, the full tilt t-shirts. I used to have quite a big collection of them, as you can imagine. I imagine Mormons probably got garages somewhere filled with them.
You got a jersey for winning the F-tops as well. Can you remember what you did with it?
Um, I think I ended up selling it for about $300 or something.
Somebody's walking around and they've not played F-tops at all, but they've got the jersey.
Yeah, it was like a big, like I was a very, very, I was very, very slight build back then. It was a big American gold
That's right,
football jersey thing. Yeah, it didn't look good on me.
But he just carried on. 2009 was fantastic because you run deep in the World Series Poker Europe, which was down in London at the time. In the 1K, finishing 28th out of 608 entries. Yes, it was only for 3,000, but that kind of field down in London must have been a bit exciting.
Well, funny story about that one actually. So is that the 1K event that JP Kelly won?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah. So me and JP Kelly were JP Kelly was first in chips overnight going into day two, and I was second in chips overnight going into day two. And I think I'd played on the Friday, and day two was on the Sunday. That Sunday was the Sunday that Michael Owen scored that goal against Man City when great. So yeah, but on the Saturday, interestingly enough, I actually had my biggest ever cash game winning session ever. I was playing in the Vic in London, and I ended up buying in for about 5,000. And then, like at the when it got to something like 6 a.m., I was playing Bambos heads up. If you know Bambos,
Oh, yeah.
he was an absolute legend in the Vic. I absolutely loved him. But if he was on tilt or something, he would just play crazy, and he'd always like to go to the cashier, and he'd say more chips please, and he'd get a big stack of the 5K chips. So no matter how many chips you have, he'd just come back and plonk 150K on the table. So yeah, I was up to about, I must have been up to about 65,000. So I was winning £60,000 in this cash game, and like that at the time for me was just like absolutely insane. It was like fairy tale stuff, really. And then I ended up and Bambos was straddling every hand for me. So like we were playing heads up, and if I didn't want to put the straddle on, he was like, "Okay, Richard, I put it on for you." So like he was just trying to make pots enormous and things, and I was like, I'm in for £5,000. Do I really want to play 120,000 pot here? And and it was also it was getting 6:30 a.m. So I had this big day 2 at midday, and then I think Sam Trickett said to me the next day, he said, like, what have you done? Like, why would you ever leave in that spot? That's the best spot you're ever going to get in a cash game. And I was just like, yeah, I had a day 2, and then I was excited for that day 2.
At one point, you sat next to Chris Ferguson.
Yeah, Jesus was on my
What's
left.
What's that like, knowing he's won the World Series?
Well, yeah, he's quite an imposing character to be honest. I think I ended up playing one pot with him blind versus blind. See, this is crazy because like I can even like this is probably one of my most mad poker skills. Like I can remember the exact hand that I played against him like 10 years ago. I had ace 10 in the small blind, just one hand, and he had king 9 in the big blind. And I just remember I hadn't played out, and I lost that to him. And I thought, yeah, I don't really want to get into another pot against him.
He just wanders around, doesn't he, all nice and quiet, but must be so intimidating at the tables.
Yeah, it was. I felt intimidated in that pot, to be honest. Yeah, and I think I got a little bit of a lesson taught in that one.
Did you play the World Series main event at all in Europe? The one down in London.
I did play that. I'm trying to think. But to be honest with you, that tournament back then, it was an absolute marathon, and like the structure was unbelievable, and I was just sort of one of those kids who was trying to win it on day one, and my game was not suited to playing that, and I ended up just frittering my chips away, if I remember rightly, in that one. I think I did. I think I got an okay. I think I got like sort of an okay start and middle of the day, but I busted towards the end of day 1. But yeah, I was not pacing myself very well in those sort of events at that time, for sure.
I remember when I was down there doing the interviews and stuff like that. The quite a few of the Americans that came over were saying it's the best assembled field that ever played.
Oh yeah, it was insane. The household names, like obviously I was 19 years old, and I was starstruck because so basically actually before I played the main event, I played the 2,500 round of each Omaha and Holden one.
Rob Reynolds, chaps and chapettes, brand new table. We got. Ready
to go. Third session of the day in 1, George Usian. In 2, Will McMurray. In 3, Nick Marchington. In 5, Sim Mellin. In 6, Tony Ringe. 7, Endrick Getchi. 8, Usman Sadiq. And in 9 is Eddie Paul Niski.
What was his seat for? Missing.
Don't know who seat 4 is at the moment.
If you know him, let us know. He's on phone. Get off that phone. So, Tony Ringer, Ringer, Hendrick Getty, Yeah. Sin Mellin, Will McMurray. See, told you for 4 days King against 5 weren't the right call. Good to see him over the weekend, and he's had a blast. And we are now just about ready for another session. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to GUKPT Luton. Get our ugly mugs off the screen, and we'll crack on. Plenty going on. 121 in the mix at this moment in time. Re-entries coming through the door and late reg all the time. Matt Palmer was the last man out, as we saw, as he got eliminated on the feature table, the last hand of the sesh. Ace 8 into Ace King. And that was it, done. We're now ready, let's do it.
Yeah, Eddie kicking us off.
Eddie.
With the Ace Queen, raised into 1k. Will's going to flat the 7s. And heads up between these two, both blinds out. Oh!
Right.
Action! First hand of the session.
Wowzers.
That is what we love to see. And Will,
decent kicker set for Will.
He is going to be a doubling up here for sure. Just can't see how Eddie's ever not going to double Will up in this particular scenario. Probably still going to flat this spot more often than not as well. Yeah, good to see him call that. Want to keep Eddie's like King Queens, Queen Jacks, all those type of hands in that we got drawing dead. To runners, 3 of hearts on the turn. If Eddie fires here, tower, which I expect him to do, should just see Will move all in with the pocket sevens because of the SPR that we're going to be working with. So Eddie firing for 3.5.
Yeah.
Will
We'll say them all in.
Yep. Spot on. Once Eddie double barrels his spot now as well, we're going to be aware as well that more often than not he's going to have an ace in this spot.
They're in. And they'll be getting called.
Yeah, Eddie's going to ask for a cab. I can't see how ever we're going to get away from this one. Makes the call. He's drawing dead.
Drawing dead. Will McMurray's going to double up before the river even comes out. And that'll do nicely. Will McMurray back up to near starting stack 21,000. He's over starting stack now. Will McMurray first to double. Will McMurray currently 9th in the National Poker League with all the prizes up for grabs. The last event is the 30-30 in Edinburgh and Blackpool. Plenty of players chasing the points. Ewan McNicholas at this moment in time is top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, he's been there a while, Ewan, hasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
Since winning London, he's just stayed there, stayed at the top.
Being chased down by Ben Teague and Chris Johnson.
Yeah, Chris has made a run at it, Tower. I must say, Chris was quite far behind those two. We didn't think anyone would catch him up, but right on their tails now. Wouldn't write Chris off. Sure we'll see him this weekend playing the main. And around on Twitch, good afternoon. Hi all, what's the next stop? We are off to Blackpool.
Yay!
Off to
Blackers.
Blackpool. Bear with us, we will show you the schedule after this hand. If there's nothing occurring on the featured table, get the schedule up for you to see. As Isaac opens the ace-8 suited. And Usman with queen 6 off in the big blind. I'm probably going to defend. Does.
Eight, deuce, king.
It's a nice flop here for Isaac. We've got middle pair. Going to be firing here and just see Usman get out of the way. So let's
Where
go
are we going?
off to Blackpool.
Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. I do like to be lost.
Not at the end of November up north. I don't like being near the sea tower.
Why not?
It's too cold.
It's lovely in Blackpool, and that schedule there says it's going to be great. The slight change, well, an addition. The Mini will have a day 3. They've realised that the numbers have been insane this year and they're going on a little bit too long, so they're going to stop at the final table for the Mini and then bring you back
I think it's a
the
great
day
idea.
after.
Great addition.
And that's a player. And that's a player saying it's a great idea. I don't play the day after.
You're going to be playing the Mini though. He will be in the Mini.
I might make day 3.
Yeah, imagine.
Imagine. no, they're not.
It could happen. It could happen. Stranger things have happened.
There's plenty going on, and Blackpool just about mirrors what's happened here in Luton. But all the events are there. Just check them out. Take it, freeze frame it, look at it, look at the app. Don't forget to download the app if you want to have a look on there, because it's all on there. London's schedule will be confirmed this weekend, but that is Blackpool, and we're off, and we can't wait. Oh, I do like to read is a sea. I like to read is a sea. Will we be dressing up as Batman and Robin for the Blackpool Halloween GUKPT? Good evening, Rakesh. Batman and Robin. Oh dear, imagine.
So Sin getting fruity in the hijack, 3 deuce off, comes in for an open, Endrick Peel in the queen 10 in position, flopping gut shot and flush drop. Not going to be going anywhere here. We'll make the call. Turn.
And gets over the 10.
Yeah, he was already there, but
It was already there.
gets the check mark.
Yep.
And that's just white flag away from Sin. She's just going to give up after being called with the continuation bet.
Chickity check.
It's a really good river this for Endrit Tower. I expect him to value bet if Sin checks it over to him, but he's not going to get killed. Wow, Sin's going to fire at this. It's about 2.7. I don't think Endrit's ever going to fold here. Tower way his hand's played. Once Sin checks the turn and this jack pair's on the river, it's less likely she's got a jack. A lot of the time our 10's just going to be winning. We beat some bear ace and bear king of spades hands, even bear queen of spade hands. And after something, there's the call from Endrit.
Yeah.
Sin shows him the 3 deuce, queen 10 of Endrit, and takes that one.
So he just goes, okay. Okay. Was that 3 deuce? Yeah, that was 3 deuce. Are the satellites, the 3030s and minis online? Yes, there are. Most days there are feeders into the 3030s. Well, we can quickly tell you the time of the next one. The actual 3030s are right there, because Portsmouth, Berrynew Road in Manchester and Glasgow are next week, and then the last events of the NPL for 2021, Leeds, Luton, Bolton and Edinburgh. They are the last 3030s and the last points going towards the National Poker League and the packages, and whoever's playing off in down in London. I think we'll be streaming the playoff, won't we? I think we're streaming.
I think we are.
I think we're streaming the playoff, whatever day that is going to be on. But we are streaming the final of the final, and whoever gets the packages. But they're the last points available regarding the 3030s. Back to the board because Sin's in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, George with the kings here. Comes in for a tiny free bet, out of position, opts with 2.5x. That is small.
What happens when the
Always,
kings?
always, it's 100% today, Tower. So
There you go.
continue from George, and Sin not folding. Undeterred by the 2 overcards. 3 of clubs on the turn. Does bring in a flush draw, but neither player with a club in their hand, and if I'm George here, might be slamming the brakes on, coming in for a check. Although obviously he is aware, he just saw Sin open the 3 deuce and run it. Looks like he is coming in for double barrel. Does have the best hand. I think it's very difficult to get called by worse in this particular spot though, unless it's a Jack X type hand with a bare club. And Sin's just going to snap fold the 10s after George comes in for the second bet.
Indeedy, indeedy. So plenty going on online. Don't forget the closers on as well. The Haymaker that is on as well. The fantastic knockout series that is on. Over 40,000 to be won during the promotion. 3,000 every Wednesday. Given away in the free rolls. 1,800 runners plus yesterday for the latest one. And all 7 winners will be invited down to London to play against David A, where £20,000 will be added. Fabulous value. If you're playing them, good luck.
So Nick wakes up with the ace king, suited. defend the ace-9 off in the big. Heads up. Out flops the ace-king of Nick. Flopping top pair, top kicker. Check from Will. Quick diamond check for him as well. Nick not choosing to continue on this one. 10 of clubs turn. Might see a lead here now from Will McMurray. Just denying equity to overcards and bare diamond hands. A bit of 900. And Nick probably just going to get out of the way. Tower can't continue in this spot.
Just smiles and throws them in the muck.
Haha, Rakesh, Tower and Jay, who's going to be dressing as Batman and Robin between the two of you for Blackpool Halloween GUKPT? Saying that, the day 1A of the mini on the Sunday, that's Halloween, isn't it? Yeah, 31st.
Oh.
Might have to do a little fancy dress.
Do you get extra chips when you go in fancy dress?
Yeah, that should be an option. That should be an option.
So I've just been scouring the website for the satellites for the 30s and the mini. There's plenty going on. There's a 2-seat £110 tickets for the GUKPT starting in half an hour. There's also
Yeah, the chair. I like the chairs. That's why I like it. This is too high. Yeah, it's a light.
There's also 30, £11 tickets. There's bains for £2. There's all sorts of satellites going on in the lobby at this moment in time. Plenty going on. Check out the well, scroll up and scroll down for the for all the satellites that are going on. There are lots. Hey Donna. Good luck to Sin Melling, says Donna. Sin sat in seat number 5. Well played in the Omar last night, Jay. He was on his table with 10 left.
Cheers, Rob. Thank you.
Rob Adams. Well done.
It's a fairly good flop here for Usman. Neither blind in here, so shouldn't ever be worried about any potential 3x out there. If the big blind was involved, may choose to check this spot some of the time, but against these two positions, I'd like to just see him come in for a bet here. He's not going to get called in either spot. Can't see Eddie nor Isaac continuing. Eddie does have some plausible backdoors and position. So may use this one as a float candidate, and looks like he is going to float with the King Jack suited. Won't want to catch a piece because he will be in trouble. Isaac got an easy fold. Isaac is back. Saw him on our featured table first session of the day. Oi, oi, Isaac making a move and picking the nut wrong time to do it. He's opened, well, he's limp called under the gun, so shouldn't ever really have a free here. Like, Usman's just going to be loving this spot. Like, a lot of the time, as Usman, we think we're going to be up against club draws in this particular scenario. Maybe Isaac's doing this with a hand like ace 10, king 10, raising his top pair. But we've seen a lot of unorthodox stuff from Isaac early on in the day. Not sure how long he's been on this particular table, but Usman is aware he can do some funky stuff. I would just be flat in here. But opts for just the rip. And see 2 quick folds. Eddie with a King Jack suited, not going to be continuing, and the 9-8 of Isaac just gets out of the way. Tried it, but got caught. It's really hard for us to rep a credible hand there as Isaac. Got to think about the hands that we're repping for value. We've limp called under the gun. Like, as soon as we raise that flop, we're not going to raise quad threes. We're just going to flat. So what other 3x do we have in our range other than ace 3 suited, 2 combos and that? And actually, from Usman's perspective, he had the immediate blockers, the ace of hearts, ace of spades, that actually block the two ace-3 suited combinations. I believe that were his aces.
Now the question saying now, can you buy in using debit card and not just cash these days? Yes, you can.
Can you?
You can. You can use debit card now to buy in to a GUKPT. Frankie has confirmed that. I says, Frankie, can you use your debit card these days to buy into the main event or any event? He went, yeah. He says we take cash, wallets, watches. Like, what? That yes, you can now use your debit card to buy in for a GUKPT event. That was a question, and there we go.
Tony opening the ladies, and Isaac going to defend with the Queen 9 suited. Ace 9 deuce, all spades. Isaac does catch a piece. Tony going to continue here with the queens. Does have the second nut flush draw, only one overcard. Isaac just gets out of the way with middle pair.
Luton looks quiet tomorrow. Luton looks quiet. Tomorrow will be crazy busy. That's the problem. Is that 123 is classed as quiet now? It's one. It's that's the,
tomorrow will be crazy.
That's the way it is. I think you have to put a
Oh
comma
yeah,
there. You know, if you don't
learn how to use some punctuation, please, Brad.
Exactly.
What is that?
Luton looks quiet tomorrow will be crazy busy.
I had a proper
So,
brain
yes,
blip reading
It's
that.
123 in the main is now classed as quiet, whereas 123 for day 1A used to be jumping through
Yeah.
thinking this is going to be great.
Yeah. So Tony just had black queens. He's now got red queens.
Amazing.
Makes it 1.1. Back-to-back ladies. And Eddie going to be getting involved. This should be all in pre-flop tower. I'd be very surprised
Yeah,
if it wasn't.
exactly right. There it is. You're going to get a call. Oh, Georgie boy.
Oh wow, this is interesting. This is actually really interesting.
If he tries to ISO, yeah, which he shouldn't do.
No, I think he's just got a call here, Tower. Just call.
Now then,
We still
Tony,
got
what are you going to be
Tony
doing?
to worry
So look
about.
at the interesting Tony sat there. If the live tells you to go on, that's it. Oh, I mean, is that? Why is it? Look at this.
So back round to Mr. Ringe.
Yeah.
And how's he going to proceed here?
How's he going to do it now? Is he just going to call? It looks like he's just calling. It does make the call. Interesting. Interesting. Eddie is all in seat 9. Doesn't hit anything.
Yeah, and Tony just wants to come in for like 10k here
Yeah.
now, Tower on this board. He's got an even bigger 20k. And George has got an easy fold now. Had to call the all-in of Eddie, but now can just get out the way. And Eddie going to be in trouble. He's got turn and river to find an ace or a king, and two are about to go into the muck.
Yeah.
Oh, picked up a couple of extra outs here, has Eddie. Tony won't want to be making a set, but it's the king of spades
Wow.
on the river. And the queens of Tony, no good. And Eddie gets a triple up, back over starting. We're all clean. Use CNETIS on Twitch. Until I said that, I know. Still good, still good. I'm not lagging on my Twitch.
Or are you?
Or am I?
Oh, well, we'll have a check. Oops. We'll have a check.
Let's refresh. Yeah, slight break in pitch up. I see what you're going on about. We will get that sorted. We'll get PK on the case.
Yeah. As if by magic. Yeah, it is freezing like mad on YouTube. We keep getting freezing like mad on Twitch. We keep getting. See, internet's gone for tea. Sausage and mash for tea.
Sausage
Gone.
and mash.
Yeah, everyone has a like. Keeps freezing for everywhere. Yeah, we are on the case right now. Okay, well, he's on the case. He's going to check the router right now and check the connect.